Ever wonder how to use a spindle checker? Hang out right here, we're going to show you. Welcome back to our maintenance series. Today we're going to be talking about spindles and how to use a spindle checker. First thing, both these spindles are, if you look at them, and you can look from the top, you can look from the side, they both appear to be perfectly straight. But if we take our spindle checker, and they make these adapters depending on what ball joints you need. If it's a 1.5 or a 2-inch per foot taper, you can get either ones. And essentially all we do is we're going to take this and we're going to give him a little push in. I just put the nut on there to keep it from back and back out. And we're going to do that on the upper and the lower ball joint. Then we will take our rod, and I always come up through the bottom ball joint and I just push him. And as I'm coming up, he should go right through the upper ball joint. But he doesn't. As you can see, this spindle is bent. It has either this eye tipped back or this eye tipped in. Now, the issues that we run in with spindle misalignment like this is our ball joints are meant to be run in a straight plane, and they pivot off the ball part of the ball joint. If we have a misalignment here, as we go through our suspension motion, depending on which way this is bent, it could make a bind either in suspension movement, or as we're turning and we get our ball joints misaligned, it'll make either a hard spot or it'll make it hard to come back. It'll almost roll over center as we're turning. And if we can't counter steer, or if we have a hard spot in our suspension, the car's just not going to handle, and it's not going to be as consistent as we would like. So this spindle checking, this is something that I do on a fairly normal basis. Anytime that I have wheel contact, I will take the spindle off and I'll run the spindle checker through it. It doesn't take any time. It's just your 2 ball joints and your 2 brake caliper bolts. Pull the spindle off, set it on the bench, and put the spindle checker in. And I'll show you on the new spindle the spindle checker going through as it should. We're going to set this spindle off to the side. So we'll take our spindle checker and we'll do the same thing. I just give him a little bit of a press, and that just kind of seats him square. We don't need to take a wrench or anything. These are just aluminum. We don't want to ruin them. My rod's rolling away. Just a little bit of a press. Now that last spindle was a complete whole diameter of the rod off. Now if we look at these ones, as you can see, this rod, I'm pushing straight on it. It goes right in. This is proper alignment of the ball joints. So now that we've gone through the spindle checking, so that's been an overview of checking spindles. I just want to add, for the Pinot spindle, 3-piece spindle guys, Weir's makes a tool that actually screws onto the top ball joint, and when the tool is in there, it's tapered at the bottom, and it should point to the center of the lower ball joint. That's usually how I would check the Pinot spindles. You can get a spindle checker like this for the Pinto and 3-piece. You just have to check to make sure that you get the right taper, whether it be the 1.5" or the 2" taper. And like I've said, I'll take these spindles off and I'll check them. Whether it was a rough track or we made contact with a tire or another car, I'll just pop the spindle off quick. I'll put the checker in it. I'll check the spindle. I'll check the ball joints. Make sure everything's in line, because these pivot points are so crucial for the front suspension and turning geometry that they need to be consistent every time the car goes on the track to make sure that your car is working the way it needs to. If you guys are finding value in this, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. It lets me see how many of you guys are finding value in this. You guys have yourself a nice day, and check back. We're going to have more videos coming.